So now we will be opening the last part of our conference, which is focused on investing in new age. And we will talk about the long-term perspective investments. First type of these are investments in education, and that's the one which we will focus on first, and I want to welcome Mrs. Kateřina Suchá from Unico University, and she will speak about how it pays off if you invest in yourself, if you increase your knowledge. Thank you. My name is Kateřina Suchá, and I'm a marketing manager in Unico University, which is the institution that organizes this conference. As you could hear, there are plenty of opportunities how to invest and what you invest. Can be money, cryptocurrency, or whatever. And there is one thing which you can do immediately, straight away. It's investing in yourself. Investment in your education or in your health, in your mental health. You can go to all kinds of training courses. You can buy educational materials. You can go to school. You can do sports. You can make trips to know other countries. You can
Ale vrátím se k tomu vzdělávání, protože to je to, o čem bych tu zejména chtěla mluvit. Ta investice do vzdělávání je
fit, staying fit.
přímo nebo vašich blízkých.
Investment in education is the one which we will focus on now. That's a lifelong scheme which you can start at any moment. You can start right this minute, and you can achieve quick results, which means there is good return on investment, and it is something you can do all life long. You can lose anything, you can lose everything in your life, but not knowledge. And if you know how to use this or that, and you have good knowledge from various disciplines, and you know foreign languages, it opens up new opportunities for you, and you can then work either at home or abroad. This is a quote of Napoleon Hill. The person who stops studying merely because he has finished school is forever hopelessly doomed to mediocrity, no matter what may be his calling. The way of success is the way of continuous pursuit of knowledge. So we shouldn't forget that you shouldn't really stop educating yourself the moment when you leave school. Education is not a one-time activity. You should really pursue education all a life long. Certainly, we are now being watched by parents whose children go to school. So first what we do is that we invest in our children in their education. Besides going to school, they can also learn some other things like foreign languages, or play a piano or whatever, or do sports. It is important to invest right from the early age. The reason for that is that children have a faster acquisition of new knowledge. If you start with gymnastics at 36, it will be more complicated than if you're 5. The same applies for musical instruments, or with programming, or with learning languages. And I think this is something which really pays off. If you invest in a language course of your children or yourselves, that is very good. We can see that there are numerous online platforms which focus not just on the language, but the grammatical side of the language. The grammar is the fundamental part of it. And once you've acquired that, and once you've learned some words, you can watch TV, you can watch YouTube and many other things. There are courses, Red Monster, that is something for schoolers, for younger pupils. It is Unicorn Publishing that is the author or that issued this. As you can see, this the attendant is a young student who is not particularly active, and he wants to pursue this course. It can be that I don't know this or that word, but I can retrieve it later. It's really English for beginners, so there are the introductory phrases, the words, for instance, the members of the families, days, numbers. Recently we had Easter, so in the first lesson you learn about Easter. It only lasts 10 minutes. 10 minutes a day is enough to give us some essential knowledge which can then further be augmented. So the very word Easter in English, you can also have the audio function which will read it aloud in English, and there is a question and there is an answer. And another type of a question, I'll give you a wrong answer, and as you can see, the monster is sad because I gave the wrong answer. So what is the correct spelling of Easter and what it is? It is a holiday that is celebrated by Christians across the world. There is a component with pictures. It will teach you how to say Easter eggs and so on. Now, back to the presentation. Red Monster is not just about subjects like languages, but also sciences, that is psychology, music, natural sciences, everything. It's identical to what you can learn at school. You can also learn the 700 most frequent English words, which can be useful for both adults and children. There are those eternal beginners, and this can give them a kickstart. I keep saying that you have to renew your knowledge, you have to learn anew, you have to refresh your knowledge, because especially languages is something which is forgotten very quickly. But there are also children who like natural sciences, who like mathematics or programming. And in the world of automation, with smart households, with AI, such training courses are what's the best suited for this time. Some years ago this did not exist, the course of programming, for instance. We also have the ozobotic programming for children aged 6 to, let's say, 16 or 15. There is a lecture, and pupils who are either physically present or online. There are some materials, and we also organize holiday camps for children where they do these activities all together. This is a very good fundamental knowledge. These are grammar school graduates who decide what next, whether they should pursue the studies. Well, this is quite an investment because it costs money, and there is a lot of time you have to spend on it. So the choice, the selection is very important because it can enhance your competitiveness. Most of interesting positions in jobs require good quality education. And the better the education you have, the better your competitive edge when compared to others who lack this. What information technology is a discipline which is highly competitive, and IT still there are still not many people working in this discipline. So you are almost sure to find a job there, and you can be placed anywhere. You can be in France, you can be in Brazil or in Czechia, and you can do your job. If you study Czech law, you are not likely to use much of it in the US, but not so IT. The ideal combination is IT and business. 5+1 competencies which are applied in programming, in IT. You have to understand the business discipline for which IT is applied. So you need to know some of the processes of the business. You need to master the information technology. You have to know the business of your customer. You need to know the environment of the client. You have to be capable of a teamwork, and you have to have the language skills. With every every new language, you acquire more competitive edge. Unicorn University offers great combinations of IT and business. That's what I was talking about. We have the regular full-time studies, and this still allows you to enjoy your student's life. Then you have part-time studies where you can work and study alongside, and you also have a program where you can travel, you can work, you can even live very far from a big town or city with a college. So not that you have to go to school, but the school comes to you. This is a mathematic exercise, as I call it. We have to look at the investment. If you decide to go for the studies, you can consider it as investments, and for every investment you calculate the return on the investment and how long will it last. So if you go to a university or any other type of college, then the investment is likely to return in 5.5 years. But here we speak about the time. But what is also important is the money you could have earned if you didn't go to school and if you worked instead. That is why it is very important to select the discipline based on the finance which you expect it to yield in the future. But there are also long-term courses which when you're granted a certificate in the end. So these are courses which last over several years, and then you are certified in your competence, and you can use this again to improve your position in your occupation, or to have an extra job. Again, languages is something which enhances your value on the labor market, but it can also be a certificate in graphic design. What is important is to follow the trends and see what is available. And for each discipline, you have to know what is the most recent development in it. What are the trends? What is, and you need to be able to react to the trend. You can be a skiing instructor. This can be an additional income, or you can be a nutritional consultant. There are no age limits to studies. There are many people who believe that investing in studies is good for younger generation, but that is not true. You can learn, and you should learn new things. You should study whatever the age. You can be, well, you can go for the online forum, and the true purpose of that may not be a certificate of this or that kind, but the knowledge. You simply want to have the knowledge. If you don't feel like going to a university, or you've been to some long-term courses, and nonetheless you have your job and you don't enjoy it very much, but you can change your skills. You can go for reskilling, and there are courses to that. And you can start straight away. You can take your mobile phone, your touchpad, and you can buy an online book or an exercise book, and once this conference is over, you can go ahead with it. Then there are also social networks bringing together people who are interested in the same discipline. Just make sure you know who is behind the product or behind the service. There are huge opportunities and endless selection of all kinds of educational activities, but you have to make sure you choose for the right one. You have the unicorn publishing pages where you can find all you need. There are courses of management, of law, of finance. There is also macro and microeconomics, which can be very suitable for university students if they prepare for the exams. And in the end of this meeting, we will you can participate again in a lottery, which will give you access to one of the courses. So repetition is the mother of wisdom. So wisdom, knowledge is something you carry along with you everywhere, but you can always extend it every day. Try to build it in your daily routine. You brush your teeth every day. The same can be done that every day you will learn 2 new words of another language. You can listen to podcasts which will inform you about new things which you can acquire. What is important is to follow the information. You have to check on the information which you've acquired. You have to beware of fake news. You have to know. You have to try to find out the information about who is behind this or that activity which is proposed. So to end, I would like to wish you every success. And if you decide for one of our products, we'll be very glad. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the thoughts you gave to the topic of education. One question is a very specific one on the significance of coins. I don't know what's meant. Neither do I. Okay, probably the author of the question will have to add something. Okay. The computing of how good the investment is. You won't be on your job and earn your salary. But if a man or a woman already is at a job, what is the best way to go about it? Well, yes, and that's why we have the forms such as online education or on-the-job education. You can continue working on your job and study as well. What we meant were graduates from secondary schools who are ready to invest 3 or maybe 5 years, and they can really add up whether it's advantageous for them. Okay, a personal question. How do you educate yourself? Well, it wouldn't be suitable to preach water and drink wine. I am concentrating on my English. That's what should be the knowledge for everyone. Then German language also is another topic and I put some of my time to it. And from time to time, I play a part of a TV serial, series with subtitles. Microlearning is another phenomenon. Can you say on your own experience, can you speak about it? Yes, people must be motivated. The microlearning really means that you spend 10 minutes on learning, 10 minutes a day. It can be a business or those who have troubles with maths. And it should be part of microlearning, should be part of each application. You could see the jolting monster. That's very interesting and funny for third grade pupils to get another praise from the monster. And you can take part in some sort of competitions, and the children can obtain some coins. Yes, another question. Do you plan to open a bachelor type of study in English? We do have it on a full-time basis, but we also plan it in the online form, so that will be the future. Where do you see the importance? It was very quickly presented, the Olaf network. Well, it's not only about studying IT. IT provides a big or vast scale of what you can do. It may be a technical position as a programmer or an analyst, and that is counted in the 5+1 by the types of knowledge. It says what you have to know to be in good command. Well, we are under time pressure now, so thank you once again for your speech and your lecture, and thank you.